What makes Jane look and feel older than she is? Join the mission to make the former stewardess look and feel 10 years younger. Then we've sweet therapy with chocolate and edible art in Taste New Zealand. Tonight on One.
I have 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, 1,000 of hair. But do you know what the world only has one of? Me.
A great moment for rugby in New Zealand.
18 years after this, the World Cup is coming on home. Tonight, the moment the cup was won, Jock Hobbs and his team bring rugby's biggest deal to New Zealand. What will the cup mean for those in the shadow of Eden Park and the...
It's to go, the countdown's already begun. Auckland's mayor promising this little village will be prepared for its World Cup debut. Melissa Stokes, One News.
Of course, it might have become big business, but for most of you, and certainly for me, 2011 is all about a very special game. The World Cup likely to end up with money trickling down into the grassroots of the game. And for the fans, there'll be 48 games shared around 11 venues and a chance to see rugby at its very best.
Groundsmen would be turning in their graves. In Koorat, dogs have free rein on the field. Wanganui County's ground is home to sheep. But don't get them wrong, in small towns every man and his dog knows their rugby and there's enthusiasm to match any city.
Bella's pleased too. We all are, aren't we? Yay, the cup.
Isn't that fantastic? Woohoo! Brings everyone together a bit, I suppose.
Small valleys like the Hakataramia have produced top players, including All Black captains.
He's a homegrown boy from off the turnips up the hill.
Richie McCaw broke from his first scrum on this ground. Now his old club is keen to see that the grassroots don't miss out.
Hopefully they'll be able to put a few games out into some of those smaller unions, and it might lift the spectacle of the game there with international players coming into the area and young people being able to getting the opportunity to see them.
6 years is a lifetime to wait for these young fans. And while they practice the cheer and the passing, some older heads are wondering if we haven't bitten off more than we can chew.
We're not a big enough nation really to handle such a big event now.
All the same, they're hoping even the smaller rugby communities will see some of the benefits.
When the Poms were over here recently, the vans and everything that went through here, no, it was great. It's helping everybody.
They get a lot of tourists come through. Do a bit of fishing.
Whether the international game reaches here or not, sport, as they say, will always be the winner. Sarah Azam, One News.
Yes, it will be, and 6 years will fly by very quickly. Cannot wait, Jude.
Well, indeed. Thanks, Wayne. Well, a successful bid is winning praise from around the world, and a short time ago, David Kirk, the man who lifted the World Cup for the very first time as All Black captain back in 1987, spoke in Sydney.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I think it's fantastic for New Zealand. You know, New Zealand is a small country. We're a long way away from home, and for us to win on the world stage like this and to be provided with a stage to show off what's great about New Zealand and to stage a great World Cup in 2011 is just fantastic.
David Kirk there in Sydney. Well, after the break, the rest of the day's news, including the verdict on the Northland couple who put their faith in prayer. In the thick of it, angry protests in South Korea, where Helen Clark's joining other Asia-Pacific leaders. And every pilot's nightmare, landing without wheels and hoping to survive.
Later in sport, we've got more on today's big story. We'll look at how winning the hosting rights camps New Zealand's rehabilitation in World Rugby and the man who made it possible.
He's taught New Zealand today is that anything's possible if you really want it hard enough and you put the effort in.
And we see Turkish style what it means to miss out on soccer's World Cup finals.
Watch the newspapers. This band will be playing real dance music in your town soon.
From the roaring 20s to the great Great Depression.
Dad was a good shot, so he shot pukekis and we had pukekis soup.
Frontier of Dreams, Saturday.
Tomorrow is a Flybuys fun day. Every standard point you collect on tomorrow's shopping gets you in the draw for an amazing new Mitsubishi 380 sedan. Shop at Flybuys participating companies and be in to win a new prize every day.
This month at Beds R Us, you can buy from no deposit and pay no interest for 1,000 days. Get out of that old bed and into a new sleepyhead or one-to-rest bed with 1,000 days interest-free from Beds R Us.
Make your next bed a sleepyhead from Beds R Us.
Well, when I won, I was pretty cool about it.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah!
I had it together.
Really?
Got your ticket yet?
Beat the last-minute Christmas rush with these great buys from Mitre 10. This deluxe family pool is just $69.78. This Black & Decker circular saw is $68.74. This 140 light standing reindeer is $59.68. This rechargeable spotlight is $19.54. And this two-person igloo tent is just $49.66. Plus, if you find a lower price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
You'll come out better off at Mitre 10.
Lamb. Beef. Beef? Yeah, beef. Definitely lamb. Women need twice as much iron as men, so eat lean beef and lamb 3 to 4 times a week. Feel twice as good.
We love to boogie. We love to boogie.
With hundreds of dollars of savings on everyday products like these. The latest New World Coupon Book is out now.
Meet Maggie, Max,
Look at that focus.
and Tyler.
I thought she was going to come back to the boat, but she didn't care about me.
Wonder Dogs, Saturday on 1.
Tonight at 7, David and Kathy Tribble believe the power of prayer would heal their sick 4-month-old baby boy Caleb. Instead, they're accused of his manslaughter.
Hindsight was a wonderful thing. He would have gone to the doctor.
The Northland couple's exclusive story. That's tonight on Close Up at 7.
A Northland couple who prayed for their sick baby rather than take him to a doctor have been acquitted of manslaughter. But David and Catherine Tribble could still face prison after being convicted of failing to provide the necessaries of life.
It was the day of reckoning for devout Christians David and Catherine Tribble.
Do you find the accused, Catherine Grace Tribble, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
After deliberating for nearly 12 hours, the jury found the pair were not to blame for killing their baby son Caleb, but convicted them of a lesser charge of failing to provide the necessaries of life.
Naturally, Mr. and Mrs. Tribble would have liked the jury also on the lesser count to have acquitted them.
Caleb Tribble died of blood poisoning 2 years ago. This photo was taken the day before he died. His parents prayed for him rather than taking him to the doctor. In his summing up, the judge told the jury they needed to put their own religious beliefs aside when deciding on a verdict. But throughout this trial, the question's been raised as to how much the Tribbles' religious beliefs influenced their decision not to seek medical help for Caleb. Caleb was David and Catherine Tribble's 8th child. The Tribbles say they didn't take him to a doctor because they didn't realise how sick he was, but they did seek help from the public health nurse. And during the trial, it was acknowledged they're good parents.
The children probably have suffered a huge loss, not just the loss of their little brother, but emotionally it's been really hard for them to deal with, especially over this, with that David and I having to go to court.
The Tribbles will be sentenced in a month. They face a maximum penalty of 7 years imprisonment. Pippa Wetzel, One News.
And Close Up will have more from David and Catherine Tribble in an exclusive interview at 7. Compensation could be on the cards for an Australian citizen wrongly deported to the Philippines. Filipino-born Vivian Alvarez has just arrived back in Sydney 4 years after the Australian immigration blunder. Alvarez was deported after being seriously injured in an accident and mistakenly identified as an illegal immigrant. She suffered memory loss and was only found in Manila this year. Her lawyers are now discussing a payout with the Australian government. A controversial British historian refused entry to New Zealand last year has been arrested in Austria. David Irving's being held on suspicion of denying the Holocaust, Hitler's mass slaughter of Jews. That's a crime in Austria with a possible 10-year jail sentence. The pilot of a small plane is being praised after an emergency at an American airport today. He was forced to make a wheels-up approach in Atlanta, Georgia, after the landing gear failed. The pilot shut down both engines just before a textbook belly landing. Fire crews were quickly on hand as the passengers and pilot emerged from the plane, shaken but in one piece. Still to come, why New Zealand's richest man has made a rare public appearance. They've spent a fortune searching for his helicopter. What next for the family of Michael Ursig? And the mail that stunned a mother. Her son is to be hanged.
Roy's life had its fair share of ups and downs until one day.
Accident. So what do we know?
About you, I think very seriously about selling up.
Now, Roy must do everything he can to keep his fairgrounds.
He's trying to sue us for damages.
His staff.
You can sleep with me anytime you want to.
Yeah, no thanks.
And his heart from spinning out of control.
You sleep with her.
Tunnel of Love, 8:35 Sunday on 1.
New Zealand's original pasta, Diamond, has just improved their whole range by combining the best Italian know-how with finest Durham wheat to create a premium quality pasta for New Zealand tastes. Not only does Diamond now taste better, but it has perfect texture which holds its shape and prevents it sticking together. Perfect to create those hassle-free Kiwi favourites like lasagna and spaghetti bolognese, which everyone will love. Discover the great new taste of Diamond pasta in these distinctive new packs. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which is why Signature Range has everything for a healthy start. Resealable light and fruity cereal is a delicious blend of corn, wheat and selected fruit. It's also a great source of fibre and 98% fat-free. Top it off with your favourite fruit from the canned Signature Range or whip up a tasty fruit smoothie with these delicious frozen berries. 3 healthy options to kickstart your day from Signature Range. Look for the Eating Well leaflet at Foodtown and Woolworths.
Guys! How are you? Oh, good to see you.
Nice to be back.
Oh, hey, I'll put the mail here. Oh, thanks so much for that. Hey, we've got some great photos.
Come over. Well, I've got the duty free. We'll look at the
It'll be fantastic. But I've just put some dinner on, so can I come over afterwards?
Of course you can. We'll just freshen up. How's things been going?
Oh, it's really good. Yeah? Really good. Now, did you do this milk thing right with Peter?
It's beautiful.
When we launched the new Hyundai Sonata, we said it would ruffle a few feathers. The Sonata has just been awarded the NBR Car of the Year. We'd say that's more of a shake than a ruffle.
Impossible.
Of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
At Countdown, you'll get a pack of Huggies standard nappies for $8.89 and an 8-pack of Signature Range toilet tissue for just $2.99. Our wide aisles also give you plenty of room to shop, which should brighten your day. You can count on us to keep prices down at Countdown.
Congratulations to the winners and finalists at the Qantas Television Awards. New Zealand stories, New Zealand faces, great television.
Close up tonight, it's ours. Rugby's biggest contest is coming to New Zealand. We have former All Black captain and World Cup winner Gary Wetton and a young rugby star who could play for the All Blacks in 6 years' time. Plus the ball boy from the 87 Cup, Johnny Duda, who wants to lace his boots up again. All on Close Up tonight at 7.
The family of missing millionaire Michael Ursig admits time is running out to find him, but they're not about to give up. It's 2 weeks since his helicopter disappeared on a flight from Auckland to Queenstown. 10 choppers have been out looking today, and searchers will soon be getting an expensive boost.
Skimming the treetops 6 metres off the ground, Peter Matheson's flown 80 hours in search of Michael Ursig.
You start second-guessing yourself. You see a broken tree and you think, is that a broken tree or is that something else? Look, and then you really wonder if you've looked hard enough or long enough. The mind games do start to come in a little bit.
The detection of signals that might be emergency locator beacons and sightings have narrowed the search down to southeast of Raglan, but still it's like looking for the proverbial needle in a haystack. Back at base, the businessman's family is preparing to fly equipment with a 90% chance of finding the Eurocopter from Sweden. The price tag over $1 million. The US Army has similar detection equipment. Now the Ursigs want the New Zealand government to allow the Americans to come here and use it. Even so, Michael's brother Ivan admits time is marching on.
You may recall a helicopter pilot that was retrieved after 13 days in the United States. Still living. I think time is running out. It's now getting on there, but we will continue regardless.
With the bill for the private search topping hundreds of thousands, if not millions, the only thing the Ursig family can't buy is time. Alia Kram, One News.
Prime Minister Helen Clark has just arrived in the South Korean city of Busan ahead of 2 days of talks aimed at reviving flagging free trade talks. But angry protests are expected to dog the leaders of the 21 APEC countries. Asia correspondent Charlotte Glennie is there.
Angry South Korean protesters clash with riot police. The world's most powerful leader is in town, and anti-globalization demonstrators have a firm message for him.
Because he's an axis of evil on this globe.
US President George Bush is part of this Pacific Rim bloc, where the goal is to promote free trade. 21 of the region's leaders are here, including China's President Hu Jintao, Russia's Vladimir Putin, and Japan's Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. No one's taking any chances with security. Some 30,000 police are said to be on duty. Busan is also crawling with intelligence agents and troops in a security operation that includes a no-fly zone and a 3-layer naval blockade. Earlier this week in the capital, Seoul, thousands of angry protesters clashed with police clad in full combat gear. One rice farmer is said to have died after poisoning himself in protest at the opening up of rice markets. Up to 100,000 demonstrators will be staging more protests today and tomorrow.